And hello, welcome to Open, the show that opens the Bronx and the rest of the world right to you. I am Daren, Jaime, and today we'll update you on what's happening in and around our borough and New York City. Coming up, we'll explore some trends in both national and regional markets, discovering resources aiding and making informed decisions in today's housing market. Then, we'll talk about how one publishing house is actually making a difference, providing a platform for authors to thrive and fostering a community where creativity and collaboration also flourish. And then later, we'll learn how you can strike the perfect balance between quality, style, and affordability for your back-to-school wardrobe, so parents beware. Then, we'll delve into the vibrant world of literature, celebrating diversity, cultural heritage, and authentic representation. Finally, we'll explore how one of television's most trusted home renovation experts is not only transforming homes with design, but also leading the charge in energy innovation. So stay tuned because all this and much more is heading your way. Right now, we're officially open. And hello, everyone. I'm Daren, Jaime. You are now watching Open, a program that is bringing you the Bronx and New York straight to you. We also want to welcome our viewers to the Manhattan Neighborhood Network, as Open is being broadcast simultaneously on M&N's channels. You can stay connected to us on all of our social media platforms at BronxNet TV. Some things have been going on throughout the past week. We'll take you through it with some Bronx updates. And we start with city news. The State Department of Health is reporting the Bronx continues to see the highest rate of food insecurity throughout the 5 boroughs. Local officials teamed up with Invest Money to the NYC Health Bucks initiative. Our BronxNet reporter, Brittany Schuyler, has the details.
As reports from the State Department of Health show that the Bronx continues to see the highest rate of food insecurity throughout the 5 boroughs at 39%, local officials have teamed up to help improve these statistics. In the Norwood section of the Bronx Borough President Vanessa Gibson announced a $10,000 donation, and New York City Council member Eric Dinowitz donated an additional $5,000 to the Health Bucks initiative.
We are committed to taking a huge bite out of hunger.
In case you're unfamiliar, this right here is a health buck worth $2. Take one of these to any New York City farm stand so you can purchase fresh produce.
Every time somebody uses their EBT card at a Grow NYC food access site, either a farm stand or a green market, whenever they swipe their card, for every $2 they spend, we give them additional $2 that they can spend for fruits and vegetables.
Besides the $5,000 donation, Councilmember Dinowitz also invested $15,000 into the Norwood farm stand. Since 2013, the farm stand has served as a community staple, providing Bronxites with healthy food options and farmers with vital revenue. Be on the lookout, as there will be a series of pop-ups throughout August and September in which health bucks and other health resources will be distributed to the community. Reporting for BronxNet, Brittany Schuyler.
And thank you, Brittany. In other news, medical clinic urban health plans annual Fiesta San Juan celebration. It returns. An urban health plan is also highlighting the connection between arts and health. And our BronxNet reporter Chris Camilla was there with more information.
Urban Health Plan is reviving its annual Fiesta San Juan as part of the National Arts for Everybody campaign, highlighting the important connection between arts and healthcare.
We're really trying just to make sure that everybody is aware that the arts can contribute to your health and well-being, and so we're just having a really big party about it.
The event features plenty of unique activities, including live music and dance performances by over 7 renowned artists, in addition to visual arts exhibitions and interactive programs, all centered around getting the community more involved and informed about taking care of their health.
It has always been a community event where Urban Health Plan gives back to the community by having a day of fun and music and entertainment, and just thanking them for having confidence in us as their provider of care.
This year's event coincides with a nationwide initiative where 17 cities and rural counties will host large-scale participatory art projects, demonstrating the benefits of arts participation on individual and community health. Urban Health Plan explaining their research has found engaging in the arts can provide a number of medical benefits.
Bringing arts into someone's life actually has a positive effect on health outcomes. So in depression and other mental conditions, we do believe that it could have further impact into chronic illness like blood pressure and uncontrolled diabetes.
This is Fiesta San Juan's first event since 2019, put on hiatus due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And now that they're back, Urban Health Plan, in collaboration with the Arts for Everybody project, plans to further integrate art into healthcare through a practice known as social prescribing.
We've seen benefits that, people can lessen their depression, people can come out of isolation, people can be a little bit more physically active, people sort of start building community.
Urban Health Plan's social prescription program is still in the pilot phase. According to representatives, more data and statistics need to be gathered before human trials are performed. From BronxNet Community Television, I'm Chris Camella.
And thank you, Chris. In community news, Grassroots Grocery, Community Board 11, and other organizations came together in the Gun Hill section of the Bronx, packing bags filled with fruits, veggies, and other produce to distribute to local community members in need. Our BronxNet reporter, Carrie Moody, has a story.
Times are hard. People are struggling while prices are going up. Community Board 11 has teamed up with Grassroots Grocery to alleviate hunger in this section of the Bronx. I'm going to stand to the side here. You can see they are packing bags full of groceries, produce, vegetables. These bags will be delivered to community members in need. A new report from the state's Department of Health found that 40% of Bronx adults, the highest percentage among the 5 boroughs, self-reported that they were always, sometimes, or usually worried or stressed about having enough money to buy nutritious meals in the past 12 months.
Well, food insecurity seems to be the #1 issue in this community, and we really need to come together and stomp it out. Our neighbors should not be hungry. We need to really make an effort to come together with community-based organizations like Grassroots and volunteer our time to help stomp out food hunger.
The strength of the Bronx comes from helping each other. Chairman of Community Board 11, Naomi Pemberton, says this year she wants to be more involved.
That's my mantra this year, to become more involved with the community, because we need each other. There's too many gaps in our communities, especially people of color, that we need to fill.
Here is the mission of Grassroots Grocery.
To help with the very real issue of food insecurity in New York City, and also to reduce food waste. And I think we can sort of help with both of those things by taking rescued food and bringing it to people who need it.
If you, like Naomi Pemberton, want to get involved in community-based work, Grassroots Grocery will be at this location, 1750 East Gun Hill Road, behind Aldi Supermarket every Saturday. Visit their website at www.grassrootsgrocery.org. Reporting for BronxNet, Kyrie Moody.
And thank you, Kyrie. That's all the time we have for our Bronx updates. Then we're taking a quick break, and guess what? We'll have more open when we return. And we are back as we approach a pivotal date in the real estate world. American consumers are bracing for significant changes. Beginning on August the 17th, new real estate practice changes will come into effect for the first time in decades, reshaping home buyers and sellers, how they interact with the market. And joining me now is the 2024 president of the National Association of Realtors, Kevin Sears. And we thank you so much for joining us. And thanks so much for spending some time with us.
Daren, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.
Hey, look, it's a great time to have this conversation. I want to ask you, how is this going to really affect, home buyers and sellers right off the bat?
Yeah, so there are two main changes that are happening based on the settlement that the National Association of Realtors came to back in March. The first has to do a little bit more on the sell side and with the real estate professionals. We will no longer be able to advertise the cooperating compensation that the seller is willing to offer on the multiple listing service, on the MLS, the broker, local broker marketplace where we share the data about our listings. The second change is going to impact the buying consumer a little bit more, and that is that before a real estate professional shows the buying consumer any property, they need to have a written agreement with that buyer, which will clearly state the services that will be provided, and then also the fee that the real estate professional will be looking to get paid. And so with the change on the first thing with the MLS and the lack of offer of compensation on the MLS, now the buyer is going to have to negotiate the compensation for their agent as part of their transaction, and especially if the seller isn't willing to make an offer of compensation.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about this scarcity. There's a huge scarcity out there when it comes to housing. How do you see things playing out, and what can people do right now?
Yeah, and so depending on the market, and I know we're talking with the Bronx now, there definitely is across the country a lack of inventory. We're seeing it creep up just a little bit, but really what the changes are going to do is they're going to empower the real estate professional and the buying consumer to be able to have the conversations up front. And so they can set the expectation about the buying consumer, the buyer, can set the expectation about what they're looking to achieve, and then the real estate professional, the realtor, will be able to talk with them about what the market is doing, how they can help them to achieve the American dream. And I have complete confidence and faith in our members' abilities and the realtors' ability to be able to adjust, adapt, and hopefully thrive given these changes. And any time that we as a real estate professional can have a conversation with the consumer about the value that we bring, the expertise that we bring to the transaction, and the fact that we're looking to get paid, I think that's a good thing coming out of these changes.
For yourself, as a realtor and the president of the National Association of Realtors, navigating sometimes with your buyer, hard thing, because listen, I've got to deal with these rising mortgage rates, and these mortgage rates continue to rise. And how can a realtor really assist in that process when it comes to navigating these numbers that continue to rise, and how can things be a better assistance?
Yeah, so I'm not licensed in the state of New York, only Massachusetts and Connecticut. But what I can tell you is what the real estate professional brings to the transaction is, the National Association of Realtors, we have a checklist out there of potentially 179 things that can happen during a transaction on the buy side. And so the real estate professional, the realtor, is going to help the consumer navigate through those. And it's not just showing the property, making an offer, and closing the deal. There is so much more. As you talked about the mortgage, there's inspection. There's paperwork that needs to be navigated. And so we need the consumer to continue to have faith and confidence in the real estate professionals that they hire to represent them to navigate through what will likely be the largest financial transaction of their lives.
And really, it's a negotiation process, and realtors are, a very important and integral part of that negotiation process. For somebody who may not know, give us a little bit of how important it is and the value of having a realtor during that negotiation process.
Yeah, and what I can tell you is my experience. The real estate professionals, the realtors in their local market have their finger on the pulse, and they know what the market trends are. The buying consumer, this could be the first home that they're purchasing ever, or in 10 years. The average homeowner is staying in their their home for more than 10 years at this point. And so it's not something that they do frequently or often. And so having a professional represent them is a good thing. And you talk about negotiations. The other piece that I will say is that as long as I've been in the business since 1994, commissions have always been negotiable. And with these changes, we get to have more conversations with both the selling and the buyer consumer about the commissions that they will be paying and that we will be earning. And so again, I'll just go back to what I said. Anytime we can have a conversation with the consumer about the value and the expertise that we as real estate professionals bring to the transaction, and the fact that we are looking to get paid, that's going to be a good thing, and it will add transparency to what is already a complicated process.
Yeah, Kevin, before we go, I got to ask this question about resources. How do a home buyer or a home seller say, listen, I need some resources. We love our realtors, but where can we get some additional resources to help us to navigate this?
Yeah, thanks for the question, Daren. So we have a website, facts.realtor, where buying and selling consumers or real estate professionals can go to get more information about the practice changes and the way that the marketplace is going to interact moving forward. So again, it's facts.realtor, and I really appreciate the opportunity to be able to share that with you and your watchers.
Hey, listen, you said you're not licensed here, right? But listen, you're always a friend here. You can always come back. You can always visit, always give us some more information. What have you, man?
Well, Daren, I have to tell you, I've been in the Bronx more in the last year and a half, and I will continue to be. I have a daughter that attends Fordham University, so I've become a big fan of the Bronx.
Well, listen, next time, then you sit right here next to me, then, since you come to Fordham University. That's right down the block. You come sit right next to me, and we'll talk this through.
That sounds great. Thanks, Daren.
I'm for real, Kevin. All right, now, Kevin Sears, our guest now, 2024 president of the National Association of Realtors, and he joins us here on Open. Now, if you want more information, go ahead and visit the website at facts.realtor. We encourage you to don't go anywhere. Guess what? We do have more Open coming up right after this.
What's up, creative family? Discover your voice with BronxNet Community Media Classes. Are you ready to bring your ideas to life? At BronxNet, we offer television production classes for community members ages 18 and over, empowering you to share your vision with the world. Get certified in field production, in-studio production, and our new exciting addition, podcast production. Once certified, you can create your own show to air on one of our 6 TV channels. It all starts with our free Unleash Your Ideas Masterclass, designed to help you plan your show idea and set you up for success on your production journey. This class is offered at the beginning of each month for your convenience. Our dedicated BronxNet team is here to support, encourage, and uplift you every step of the way. Join us and become a part of the creative force that engages and inspires the Bronx community and beyond. Sign up today and start your media journey with BronxNet. Visit bronxnet.org/education to learn more and register. Let's create something amazing together.
And we are back from nurturing a love for books in a young child to building a platform that supports writers at every step of their journey. This company is committed to transforming literary dreams into reality. And we've got sharing with us 2 very special guests. They are the authors and owners of The Son of Tigga Publishing. And guess what? It's Kevin Grimes Sr., Kevin Grimes Jr. And when you look at Junior, Junior is really a junior. I know you get that a lot.
Yes.
Yes. So for you, obviously, the opportunity to do this, with your son, what's that mean for you?
It just means the world. It's part of my purpose of waking up every day, just knowing that I'm not only doing it for myself anymore, I'm doing it for him as well.
Right.
So, highly motivated.
Yeah. Junior, I'll say, right? You're an author and you're a publisher. And how old are you?
8.
So you're 8 and an author and a publisher. How do you feel about that?
Good.
Real good, huh? What's it like working with Dad?
Busy.
Mm-hmm. How's it been? I mean, obviously to really instill this in your son, give your son the opportunity to see and also to be a part at an early age.
Good. Just knowing that, show him that hard work, right? As well as everything else that I do, he's a part of. And just another opportunity for him to not only know what I'm doing, but actually be an owner of a company and understand what it is to actually pay bills and have to go into his account. And we have to pay publishers, we have to pay illustrators, we have to pay for marketing. These are all things that he's learning and seeing.
So you're watching this too, and you're getting to see this happen?
Yeah.
And you're doing it?
I watch the news sometimes.
Mm-hmm. And then you watch him do some work too, huh?
Yeah, and I'm always curious about what he's doing.
And that curiosity said what? Now, I'm not just going to tell you, I'm going to show you.
I'm going to show you and make you a part of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
The opportunities that I wasn't given, I'm making sure that all those opportunities are given to him.
So this collaboration of, son, and not just son, but author, and then also publisher, right? You're taking him into this world. And not only you take him into this world, now you have a literal product that you have out here.
Correct. So we have this first project coming out, another one coming out later this year, but also giving others opportunity, right? Mm-hmm. We'll get more into that, but just the opportunity to now, us being owners and having control, we can now give other people the opportunity and teach them how to do it as well.
So for yourself, what was the turning point to say, listen, I just don't want to just talk to him about it. I want to show this to him. What was the turning point for you to say, listen, I want to do this?
And just keep trying, and just the frustration of how hard it was to do it for myself, right? Just trying to put out a book as an author and the struggles and the hurdles. I'm like, wow, you know what? I want to take the control on myself, so now I can not only be able to do whatever I want in the future, but then teach others how to do it as well.
The struggle's real.
It's very real.
So what are the struggles? I mean, somebody says, listen, everybody thinks, well, I can just put out a book, but then you find out reality, there's a whole lot behind that thing.
So it's just like it's just like everything else in this world, right? If you want to learn something that you don't know, you got to pay for it, right? They got to teach you how to find the right editor, teach you how to, you got to pay to learn the right illustrator. Finding an illustrator took over a year. Finding the right person who can really capture what I was looking for and embody it into a book took over a year.
Yeah.
A lot of work.
Junior, talk to me about this. How do you feel now that you have a book out?
Put your hand up.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And my dad is coming off with another book.
So he's dropping dimes on you here. There's another book in the making too, huh?
Yeah.
He wants to be on the red carpet someday.
That's right. Listen, you want to be on the red carpet with him, because if y'all partners, he doesn't just make it to the red carpet. You got to be on the red carpet too.
You want to be there with me?
Who will go first?
You go first.
You go first.
What?
You've been working hard more.
The battle for the red carpet begins.
Exactly.
But honestly, you do have something else coming out. You got a coloring book.
Yeah, we got a coloring book coming out later this year.
So for you, people who get the coloring book and this book, let's walk through first this book and tell people what they can expect.
Just expect a loving story of a father and son, just a day out with us, a day of us from the time we wake up to our daily routines, to the time he goes to school, to the time we come home and do his homework, and just a full day. Just a full day, exciting day.
And to see your work actually, it's a concept in the beginning. You think about it, you're having meetings, you're talking about people, you're interviewing people, right? It took you a year to get the illustrator. To finally get to that place where it comes across and you can see it for yourself. What's that mean?
Not just for me, for him to see it, to know this is what actually, and this one was I'm gonna say was easy, right? Because it's what we actually do, what we actually say. So it was easy for us to put it together, but just to see it physically was just, it felt almost as good as the day he was born.
Wow.
Because it's like you birthed something that you worked hard and you put a lot of commitment and time and energy and cries and tears. To see it, it's just amazing.
Yeah. And what do you think this does for other father-son relationships to see, hey, I got your son along, it used to be take your son to work day, and now it's like really you're taking your son to work every day.
Every day. I want to motivate everyone, right? Especially if I'm able to motivate fathers to understand that, you always see the mothers in the forefront, which we give all credit to and we appreciate, but there's also fathers that can be at the forefront just as much, pushing the narrative and pushing the button to say, hey, we could do this and we can take it to another level.
Yeah. So if people want to get the book, how do they go about doing that?
They can go to www.sonoftiggapublishing.com.
Are you excited about the future here? You got some books out, and now you got to go back to school, but still, you excited to be an author and a publisher?
Yes.
All right. Well, I want you to have a great school year, too, by the way, okay? I know you got to do some work besides this, so when the school hits, best wishes.
Even my dad needs some work, too.
I'm going to give him some work. I'll make him come back and see me and talk more about your work, so that's good. All right? All right. Well, Kevin Grimes Jr., pleasure to meet you, sir.
Thank you.
8 years old, handling business. Senior, thank you so much for being with us. All right, listen, now, if you want more information, I want you to do me a favor. Visit the website, sonoftiggapublishing.com. You can find out more about it there. We encourage you, don't go anywhere. We got more open coming up right after this.
Only 57% of New York City high school students are college ready by their senior year. .55% of high school graduates either have no plans to attend college or are uncertain that they will ever attend. .34% of young adults don't go to college because they can't afford it. Discover what's possible. BronxNet's education programs, internships, and opportunities help engage and inspire Bronx youth and beyond to pursue their passions. Be a part of the BronxNet family. Whether you're interested in our shows, joining a class, or donating to support our mission, visit BronxNet.org to learn more.
And welcome back. As we approach the 2024 back-to-school season, families are preparing for a big shift in their shopping habits. This year, parents are budgeting nearly $100 more per student than last year, with a focus on both quality and comfort. Here now, sharing more, is the Director of Corporate Strategy at Insights Cotton Incorporated, Melissa Bastos, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
So when we talk about families really putting more aside to just do this, talk about what we're seeing these days.
Yeah, well, I think we're all aware that a lot of people are concerned about the economy and inflation, and about 7 out of 10 consumers tell us that is possibly going to impact some of their purchases, from eating out to buying clothing for themselves. But most people say it's not going to impact them buying new clothes for their kids this back-to-school season. So you just read off at the start that they're planning to actually spend quite a bit of money this year, $472 per child. And that's up, as you said, about $100 from last year. So they're still going to be looking for those deals and discounts. They want to make sure that whatever money they do spend, that it's going a long ways. We even know that almost 4 out of 10 parents say they may look at some secondhand clothing as well, just to supplement some of those new clothing that they plan to buy this year.
You know, a lot of parents during this time of year are really trying to be as budget friendly as possible, you know, knowing the fact that, you know, kids go through clothes, and then sometimes it might just be an economic hardship in the home. What are some budget friendly ideas for a parent that can be doing some back to school shopping out there?
Absolutely. Well, I can tell you the main thing parents are looking for is comfort for their kids. They want to make sure they're finding that comfortable clothing, and they're looking for quality and durability. So any parent putting their money out there, they want to make sure the clothing they're buying is going to last the entire year long. So there's definitely ways to look at that. You know, look at the labels, make sure that you're buying, you know, the fabrics and the fibers that you want that are going to last in your closets. We've done some research to see what lasts the longest in people's closets, and we know the higher the cotton content, the longer it stays around. So things like, you know, looking at the fiber label to make sure you're getting cotton, but also looking at any performance features like, you know, that makes it a little bit more durable to make it last is going to be important for parents as well.
You know, Melissa, you talk about parents looking for quality, but there seems to be a new kind of trend, because when we look at young people and students, they're looking at quality a lot more these days too. When you think about style used to be the in thing. Now it's like quality's taking over.
Well, I can still say style is going to be important to the kids, but yes, they're definitely thinking about the quality of their clothing because just like the parents, once they buy something and they have a style that they like, they want to make sure it lasts. So I think that's where the students are kind of thinking, like, once I get it, I don't want to have to throw it away. I want to make sure it or donate it or, make sure that it's going to last long in my closet. So for the students, and parents both, comfort is the number one attribute they're seeking in their new clothing for this fall. But also, again, for the students, quality is coming up on that list, but trendy is still in the third place. So they're going to look for both good quality and trendy overall. We do know that many of the students, much more so than their parents, are going to be shopping some of the fast fashion retailers because they feel like, that's more their price range, and they can also get some of those trendy items as well.
Yeah. What are some of the trends that we could be paying attention to?
Well, in terms of what the students are looking and the parents are looking to buy for their kids this back to school season, we know in terms of bottoms, comfort again is key. So we do see athleisure for about a third of consumers or kids. They say the athleisure pants like joggers or even sweatpants or leggings are going to be important for them. Also, 28% say that denim jeans are a key item they're going to look for in their closet, but also t-shirts. T-shirts are one that kids just love. I have a 17-year-old, well, twins, but my daughter told me she just wants some new t-shirts, and that's 48% of students say that's the number one item they're looking for in tops are new t-shirts this year.
Yeah, t-shirts and jeans, they seem to be the staples, and they don't go away from kids. They seem to enjoy that all the much. Sustainable fashion is really what we're talking about these days, and a lot of people are really engaged in that, like sustainable fashion. Where are some good places that parents can go for resources to find out about some back-to-school tips?
Absolutely. Well, you can go to lifestylemonitor.cottoninc.com, and that can give you information around how more data around we're talking about today about how people plan to shop for back to school, but there's also some information around sustainability there too, and how people look for natural fibers and other things to mean more sustainable clothing for them. They also consider cotton to be more sustainable fiber as well. So there's a lot of information around that. But also, again, check your labels. Make sure that you're looking for those fabrics and things that you consider to be qualities, long-lasting and durable, so that the clothing for your kids are going to last throughout this back-to-school season.
Yeah. Is there a common mistake that sometimes parents make during this time of year, given the fact that it can be frenzied, it can be challenging, and so much in front of them?
I'm sorry, common mistakes that they make?
Yeah.
Well, I think ones I've made, I can speak personally as to, is that not letting the kids be a part of the decision, because I buy things I like, things that I want my children to wear, and then that I feel like I've just wasted my money. So that's where they're like, you know what, I'm not going to wear it. So that's when they say they want t-shirts, you know what, that's what they want. So I think from a parent standpoint, being able to include your students or your children in the decision is going to help them want to wear the clothes that they have in their closets.
That's a huge one right there. Do not leave your kids out, because if not, they'll leave the clothes out in the closet and they'll never put it on. Yeah. So you got to include them in the deal. But from what you're seeing, talk to me a little bit more before we go about athleisure, because we're seeing more and more of that. I think today I'm in it myself, and there's a whole lot more who are using it as a way to have business dress at the same time, casual dress. Athleisure's on the rise.
Yeah, no, we definitely see some positive information around athleisure, because as I mentioned before, what parents and students both are looking for, number one, in their back to school clothing is comfort. And I think we've just seen comfort become increasingly important to people over the past few years. So that's where athleisure fits in, because shoppers do feel that gives comfort. So from the parent standpoint, they also see that, these athleisure bottoms, those are going to be key to the items they want to purchase to both their little boys and girls. And so that's pants like sweatpants and joggers and even leggings. And then denim jeans, about 28% say they're looking for those. As from the student side, similarly, they're looking at athleisure pants as being an important one for them as well. And again, those t-shirts as well as hoodies and sweatshirts are going to be important for tops too. So athleisure is definitely on the list for the students as they're looking at their back to school clothing, and when they're pairing that back with comfort.
All right, Melissa, we're going to leave it there.
No,
okay. Tell me what you're
81% say they're looking for cotton.
81% say they're looking for cotton, so make sure you include cotton in it. And we've got Melissa Bastos, Director of Corporate Strategy and Insights. at Cotton Incorporated. Melissa, it's been great talking to you. And listen, I know we'll see you out at the mall with the kids shopping. As you said, that's a very, very valuable insight. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much. Have a great back-to-school season.
All righty, Melissa Bastos, who's with us. Now, listen, if you want more information, go ahead and visit the website at lifestylemonitorcottoninc.com. Encourage you, don't go anywhere. We got more open coming up. We'll be right back right after this.
19.7% of Bronxites currently experience food insecurity. Meanwhile, instead of these nice, colorful foods, this is the best food that they have access to. If this sounds like you, there are a bunch of resources to get healthy food for free or cheap. If you want to help, you might consider donating or volunteering in one of these places. Community fridges like this one are all over the city and allow New Yorkers to conveniently donate extra food to people who might need it. Go to this link and find your nearest one. Food banks and pop-up events like these provide millions of healthy meals to families in need. These organizations are distributing meals to Bronxites as we speak and are always accepting donations and volunteers.
And we are back in a city that's as diverse as New York is. You know, finding books and reflecting the rich tapestry of our communities can somewhat be a challenge. That's why we're excited to introduce to you a unique venture, not only providing a carefully curated selection of books by Black, Indigenous, and people of color, but authors who are also championing literacy as well as cultural awareness. Join me now, the CEO and owner of Tuma's Books. We've got Fatuma right here, who is sharing with us. And, you know, when we talk about this culture, we have a diverse one, as I said from the outset, but really to be able to find that kind of representation is what you're really trying to tackle.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it stems from being my own identities and not seeing them in literature as an avid reader growing up and thinking about how can I support young people so that they don't have to go through that as well.
Think about that for a second. Let me just unpack that for a bit. You say, I'm looking at books. I want to see something that looks like me, resembles me, feels like me. To go through that process and not have that, what did that feel like for you?
I think it really struggles with identity building when you're younger. We know that adolescence, middle school, like that time is already very tumultuous and trying to figure out who you are. Mm-hmm. And so when you don't have those positive representations to reflect back on, you don't have kind of like a basis for how to develop who you are. Because adolescence is about testing out different roles, right? So you kind of have to see different examples that you can kind of see yourself as so that you can see what you can possibly become.
So we've got Tuma Books now. Yes. Talk to me about Tuma's Books.
So it's an online pop-up bookstore that really focuses on curating diverse books with rich cultural heritage. So I think about what child will see themselves in this book and their heritage and their family traditions in a book, and those are the books I kind of stock in my bookstore. And I enjoy the pop-up model because I can go into the communities that need me most and really support the community in that way.
And when we look at the BIPOC community, obviously it's a struggle sometimes just to really be able to see authors, artists who really reflect, but to see that, as we talked about, seeing that and having that visible and tangible, what does that mean in the life of a reader?
I think it really allows you to, yes, we can learn from any stories, but when you see yourself in a story, it allows you to really imagine certain things a lot better. It also allows you to kind of like find solutions to your problems that you might not necessarily be able to find on your own, because our characters can also be kind of like a blueprint for how to live your life and make certain decisions. And I think it just makes you feel valid and seen, and that, you know, some of the things that your family might do aren't strange, aren't weird, aren't different, because there are other families who are like you that are doing the same thing. And I think that can be really powerful.
So with yourself, how do you go about selecting these books?
It's a lot of research, a lot of like finding myself on page 17 in a search result, because I think there are a lot of like BIPOC focused bookstores that are coming up. And I think how I try to kind of differentiate myself is I really think about how can I diversify within the diversity. So I'm West African, first generation Gambian American, when I think about African literature, is mainly Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa, right? But I'm Gambian, right? Right next to Senegal. It's a teeny tiny country. No one knows where it is. And so I think about even within all like Latin America and Asia, how can we like kind of dig deeper past the heritages or the cultures that are most mainly represented and dig really deep, right? And really think about like, have you read a book by a Colombian author or Peruvian author, right? And really thinking about how do I showcase those titles that the publishing world and marketing dollars aren't going to prioritize because they think those books won't sell. They think readers aren't looking for those books, but they are.
So how much you putting Gambia on the map?
I'm trying. It's really hard. There's not that much out there for us, but the few books that I do find, and really thinking about like indie publishers, right, as well, because self-publishing is also an avenue that provides accessibility for writers that, especially writers of color, getting into traditional publishing can be really difficult and can create barriers, like in most areas in life, right? And so the self-publishing kind of levels that playing field. So really thinking about and looking for self-published authors and working through how I can support them through my bookstore as well.
You know, we often hear that stereotype that, you know, when it comes to people of color, reading is not always on the priority list. The truth of the matter is that's a lie,
It
right?
is a lie.
I mean, I average about, I'm not going to tell you, about 75 books a year, right? But at the same time, there's a lot of other people who say, listen, we're out here. But the fact is, we don't always get a voice to say, to share that we're out here. How do you feel like you are in the spectrum of like really amplifying the voice to say, listen, there are people out here that like to read, are very invested, great authors, and also great readers?
I think part of that is building community. And so something that I do is also I host silent book clubs at cafes and small businesses around the city, mainly in the Bronx, and just prove to people that there are readers out here, because we come together at a cafe and we take over and we just sit for an hour and read silently, right? And then we talk about what we're reading. And I think also as an educator, I've been an educator for over 10 years, also really thinking about where does that concept or idea of like we don't read come from, right? It comes from youth losing the love of reading because at some point you get tired of reading the same kind of stories. And so if you don't see yourself in stories, where's the interest? Why should you keep reading? And so as an educator, also thinking about starting as young as possible in diversifying the books that we expose children to and allowing them to have a balance of books by other cultures, because it's important for us to learn about each other, but also books that are really identity affirming, because that's going to help them maintain that love of reading. Because at the end of the day, we're a culture of storytelling, right? So the idea of like, I don't like to read never made sense to me. I tell my students all the time, I just haven't found the right book for you and I will, right? So there's this idea of like, you don't like reading. We don't, like, stories are part of who we are and stories represent who we are. And so it's not a matter of you don't like reading or you don't like stories, you just haven't found the right one. And so I'll do the hard work of that because if we leave it to the systems at play, you might not find those stories.
And therefore, you're not inspired, right?
Exactly.
And that's really what it boils down to. I think about a great community leader, and I heard them tell the story about the movie Hidden Figures. And they said, you know, one of the things about Hidden Figures is they kept those women hidden because there would be so many other, you know, people of color who would probably want to chase after math and science. And now we look at today, the culture, we're really in a math and science culture. And if we just saw that, people would be inspired. The same thing happens with reading, right? If I read it and I see it, then there's a chance that there's a whole lot of inspiration that comes to it. So for yourself, how does it feel as being one that's actually bridging that gap?
I think it's really, one, it's a lot of work because I'm also a solopreneur, right? I'm doing all the things, wearing all the hats, right? But I think it's those moments where someone tells me in like an Instagram DM, like, you made me fall in love with reading again. Or someone who, like a child that like runs to like a book table because they see a book that has like big puffs just like they're wearing, right? And I think it's those moments that help me kind of like continue this work because I know just how important it is to see yourself in the stories that you're reading.
So for people who want to get connected to the stuff that you're doing, I'm going to read them for more information about Tuma's books. I got that. But people want to find out about what you got coming up and all other stuff. What do they do?
So the main place is my website, tumasbooks.com. You can see my upcoming events. You can shop online as well. And then also I'm pretty active on Instagram.
So what are some of the upcoming events? Shh, don't tell.
So this Saturday, I'll be in the South Bronx at Padre Plaza. We're having a Summer in the Garden pop-up market, so I'll be there. And then the last week in August is actually kind of jam-packed. So I have a silent book club at Boogie Down Grind on the 24th. I have a book fair, a summer book fair in Yonkers at Kitchen in the Mill on the 22nd. And I'll also be at the Queens Book Fair on Wednesday, August 21st.
All right, they're going to kill me for asking this one question. Somebody says silent book. What's the silent? Yeah. What is the silent? What you call it? Explain.
So a typical book club, everyone's reading the same book, and they come at the end of the meeting to talk about the book. But in this case, everyone's reading a different book, and it's just an opportunity for you to be in a space, in a community space with readers. So folks come in, they mingle, they grab a drink to support the small business, and we just sit and we read for an hour. And it's sometimes the most peaceful and relaxing like moment of your week, because oftentimes we're just going, and you don't take time to like decompress. Because reading is also a moment of self-care. It's a time for you to kind of like relax as well. So
there's some people I need to spend some time in silence with.
And it's great for introverts who don't really want to like associate with people, but you kind of want to be around people. So.
Fatuma's got it for you. I wanted to let you know. Thank you for coming.
Of course, thank you for having me.
Definitely. Now, if you want more information, go ahead and visit the website at tumasbooks.com. You can find about silent reading, book clubs, all that information, and really be connected to some great literary sources. Don't go anywhere. We got some more show coming up. There is more open right after this. And welcome back. In a world where home renovation and sustainability are increasingly intertwined, the shift towards renewable energy has become more than just a trend, but rather a necessity. As extreme weather events and rising utility costs challenge homeowners, finding reliable, eco-friendly solutions more than critical. Well, sharing with us now, we have got the Chief Executive Officer of Sunrun, Mary Powell, and HGTV's Property Brothers star, Drew Scott. They are with us, and good to have you both.
Thanks for having us. I decided to bring my property sister with me today to my house. Welcome to my home instead of Jonathan. So
love being the clean energy property sister.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Listen, it's good to have both of you. And Mary, I'm gonna do ladies first. Drew, I'm coming to you in a second. But Mary, let's talk about this for a moment, because really, you guys actually have helped about 1 million customers when it comes to really dealing with this clean energy lifestyle. And so as we look at what's happening right now, and there seems to be more and more of this trend out there, what is the public passion with this right now?
Well, we're going to be hitting 1 million customers. We are hitting 1 million customers. I think like this week we're hitting 1 million customers. And I see it as the beginning of a customer-led revolution to a much more affordable, stable, resilient way to power your life and your home, particularly when you have customers embracing now so rapidly what Drew has done, which is not just solar, but adding storage so that you can power your home and your life as you wish, because you, in essence, you're generating your own energy, you're storing your own energy, and then with Sunrun, you're deciding the best time to optimize all of that for your life. So, you know, you mentioned extreme weather events. We're helping customers who have solar plus storage power through incredible events, sadly, almost every week now across the country, and getting just a greater sense of peace of mind and comfort in their home, along with a more affordable, stable way to power their life.
Yeah. So, Drew, take me inside. Take me inside the home for a moment and talk to us a little bit about this here. Why is solar the good upgrade for most homeowners?
Well, I think, I've been doing this for over 25 years renovating, designing houses, and even in our own home here, the most important thing to me is the safety and security of my family. And I think that's what we try to pass on to other families, or the 100 million people who watch our shows around the world. We're trying to educate them on what they can do to be safe and secure at home. You don't want to work at home. You want to just relax and enjoy it. The ultimate improvement, though, is how you power your home. We've decarbonized now. There's no gas in our home. This is the way of the future. And so I think to show people that solar and battery is such a great option, it's a cleaner option, but it's not just for the planet, it's for the health of their family. On top of that, too, if you think about it, solar by itself is good, but at nighttime you can't use it. And during peak hours, if you don't have enough run there, you could also support yourself off of a battery. That's the ultimate. Having the battery gives you more options to offset the cost from the utility or to offset during hours where you can't use solar.
And Mary, what's the best way for people to actually protect their home? I mean, in a situation, an environment we're living in today.
Well, certainly, I would say time is now. There's never been a better time to embrace clean energy and energy independence. So again, what we are selling ultimately is energy independence. And so it's very easy. You can just go to our website, www.sunrun.com, or we even make calling us easy. It's 888-GO-SOLAR, and we can talk to you about a clean energy subscription. I mean, one of the things that Drew and I hadn't hit yet is it's also like no money down. It's just really easy to go solar, and there's never been a better time because right now Sunrun is doing a 6 months, your first 6 months are free. We're doing a promotion this month. So if customers sign up by the end of the month, they get real additional value to, again, embracing a much more stable, clean, resilient way to power their homes and their lives.
If you really think about what, we hear everything from our customers, and my brother and I get 500,000 questions or comments from fans a week each on social media. We get a ton of response. The biggest problems that you hear, the reasons why people wouldn't switch over, one of the biggest ones is the cost up front. They don't want to pay for that. That problem is gone because of Sunrun's subscription program. But all the other things that they don't even consider with battery backup, we have a lot of brownouts and blackouts here in California, but now I'm protected. My power's not going to go out. Imagine, we have families that have said they had a hurricane come through and they lost power for a week. Mm-hmm. Yet they still had backup because of the program that they have with you. So it's really cool to see how it transforms families' lives and make them feel secure at home.
Now, Drew, most of the time we see you're working on somebody else's home, but this is an opportunity to talk about what's going on in your home. And when we talk about this process, you were also very hands-on and very involved. So what was it like for you actually with the installation of the solar panels? What can you tell a homeowner about that experience?
I have to give a kudos to your team because lugging these up to the roof, that's a lot of work. I got my steps in that day, but I like to get hands-on with all aspects of a project. And you really do see what it means to have a company that they really know their stuff and they're there to protect you now and in the future. Sunrun helped with the design, permitting with the city, right through install. And that's what I ran into a problem before. Actually, I had installed panels before, but the company was newer. They went out of business and I was left high and dry. There were a ton of headaches. Now I have that peace of mind knowing that I'm protected. And I think that's what I'm in the industry. I've been doing this for 25 years, and I was getting stressed before working with Sunrun. I can only imagine other families that are out there. You need to make sure you have the right partner.
Yeah. Mary, what's it like having Drew as a partner? Obviously, not just a partner, but really a person that's actually taken this and put it literally in his own house.
Absolutely.
I think I might have jumped out, my audio might have jumped out for a minute, but let me ask this question. Where can people go for more information?
Customers can go to our website for more information. It's sunrun.com, www.sunrun.com, or they can call us at 888-GO-SOLAR.
Yeah.
You even make the number easy to call, not just the process of install.
Right. Go ahead and make it go solar. It's pretty straightforward. Drew, for somebody who's just out there watching right now and saying, listen, I'm contemplating this, I'm thinking about it, I've heard about it, but what was really the game changer for you to say, I'm going to invest and I'm going to put this in my own home?
Yeah, if you think of what is most important to you, and that's what we do in my house here for me and my family. I have a 2-month-old and a 2-year-old, and my wife and I want to do everything we can to have a safe, secure, and healthy home. And at the end of the day, putting in solar with battery backup, it gives us that energy independence. I mean, it saves on our utility costs because the utility costs are through the roof. But aside from all of that, it's a cleaner process for our home. And I just like that it makes me feel more safe and secure at home. And this is the way that everybody is moving. This is the way of the future. Legislation is changing this direction as well. So people are looking to make upgrades. And the fact that you can get into it with no money down if you do a subscription program with Sunrun, it's really a no-brainer.
Yeah, and Mary, I want you to have an opportunity to share a little bit more about that possibility for a subscription plan because, of course, cost is a big issue for so many other people. And so what do you have to say for those who may be concerned, or have cost concerns, price concerns? What do you tell them?
Yeah, I mean, one of the reasons I fell in love with what Sunrun did so many years ago is Sunrun really was the pioneer in making clean energy as a subscription service. So again, it provided that opportunity for it to be affordable and accessible for all Americans across the spectrum. So I'm boots on the ground, so I'm talking to customers on a weekly basis. I'm in homes, I'm with our teams on the front lines. And what I see over and over again is customers who just feel like, oh my goodness, I had no idea it could be this easy to go solar. I had no idea that it was so accessible and affordable for me. And so I think that's the most important message to get out there, because a lot of people still, for some reason, think, oh my gosh, it's a nice idea, but I don't have the money to do this big home renovation project. And unlike any other home project, this is one that requires no money down. Like, you can just contact us. And again, if you contact us now, you even get the first 6 months free. But even after that 6 months, it's one easy monthly payment.
Yeah. Well, Mary, Drew, I want to thank you so much for taking the time and being with us. And that's been great. As we're looking about solar energy, got to find out more from Mary. She's the Chief Executive Officer of Sunrun. And, of course, Drew Scott from HGTV's Property Brothers. Drew, before I go, I got this one question I got to ask you. How often is it walking down the street, you're just, minding your business, everybody wants to ask you about home tips? Is there a day goes by that you don't have to give home tips out?
Oh, my gosh. No, it's the funniest thing, too. If I happen to pop into Home Depot or Lowe's or something to grab something, people will hear my voice or my brother's voice from an aisle over, and they'll come running over with their plans. Oh, I heard your voice. Can you help me with my kitchen? So it's, yeah, awesome. No, it is what it is, but I love that we inspire people. I mean, people watch our shows in over 160 countries, and if we can just help one family, I thought I was doing good. We've had 650 houses. We've done 650 episodes helping families. You're at 1 million, so I got to catch up.
Well, listen, you're on your way there. Drew, thank you so much for being with us. And then also Mary Powell, thank you much. And for our viewers today, listen, if you want more information, visit the website at sunrun.com. We've come to the end of our show today. I want to thank all of our guests for joining us and you, the viewer, for tuning in. Now, if you missed any part of today's show, catch the Recablecast on Optimum's Channel 67, Verizon Files Channel 2133, or watch us anytime on the web at BronxNet.org. You can catch a brand new episode of Open with my girl Rena Valentine on Friday. That wraps up this episode of Open. I am Daren Jaime saying make sure to keep this channel wide open. We say take care. God bless. We'll see you soon.